cardamom. welcome everybody, for whoever anybody's out there. Right, let me just sort out my all my stream stuff because it's all gone to smeg. Yeah, unfortunately. Transform. Center on screen. I don't know what's wrong with this. OBS, you screw me again. Well, it's not even OBS, it's fucking Streamlabs. Okay, I'm gonna have to get rid of that window and bring you guys back in because it's not working. The troubles of a streamer. Okay, what are we doing? Google Chrome. Okay, done. Right. Let me bring that down. Make that a little bit smaller. That'll do. People can see people when they're talking, hopefully. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Sorry guys. Just the way that this thing's this is the first time I've used this kind of thing, so actually I'm just going to set it to spotlight so people can see who's talking at the current moment.
Where'd Globy go? He's been set to mute for a little while now.
Oh yeah, he's admittedly not a fan of 40k.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's my stream buddy, so yeah, I've got to have him on. Yeah, he's good. Cool, also because he's a bloody nice bloke. So yeah, I'm also going to be doing my doing the sort of iconography for my homebrew chapter as well while we're on stream, hopefully.
So what were you going to call him?
The Forgotten.
How do you... You're just going to call him the Forgotten?
The Forgotten. Nothing special. Yeah, just something easy. 1 second.
I'd say like put the iconography as a burning book, but well, I realize that's closer to the word bearers than anything.
I have my own iconography that I'm going to be using, but on one pauldron it's going to be something very simple. 1 second, I just need to change around my... there you go. I need to start up an app on my computer. Yeah, it's going to be very simple. Basically, I have a symbol that I used to use for all my sort of Games Workshop stuff back when I was a kid, which is technically a symbol that I nicked from an old toy. Let me see if I can find it. Toy. And also my name, or my name that I go by on on the stream, but except that I put an E on it. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what it was now. It was a toy, Mega Force by Kenner. Basically, there was two sides. One was Triax, but without an E, and I don't know who the other army was. And what's it? They had a symbol. Images. Let's see. It was like a symbol with a sort of red Y technically going through it. Let me see if I can bring up my share my thing so people, so you can see it at the very least. If I can, no, attachments, nope. Turn on captions, no. Change layout, no. Turn on captions, can I? I don't know how to do this. No, not chat. No, that's me. Wait. I have no. Present your a window. So that will be that. Share. Let's see if it will present it. Let me switch it to what I'm presenting. Yeah, so basically, if you can see on the screen, as a sort of a, actually, let me see if I can bring it up. Sorry about my shitty thing. Yeah, these were the toys, and basically this one here, that symbol.
Ah, the delta symbol.
Yeah. So I've used that ever since I saw this, because I thought, yeah, I liked it. It was part of my childhood, and I just started using it. So I won't stop presenting. Yeah, so I've used it ever since. So, and the name obviously changed up with an E at the end rather than without the E. So I've just gone on to use it. And considering these people are no longer in business, well, Kenner I think is still in business, but they haven't produced these things, and I think the copyright is well and truly up. I can use it as I feel free, or as I wish. So fuck them. Yeah, but yeah, so it's going to be on one pauldron, which is the, if you're looking at it at the Space Marine, the right hand pauldron will be just a single white skull. Of my own design in future, if I can actually print transfers in the future, but I need to get a laser jet for that rather than an inkjet.
Yeah.
Because if I try to print decals using a I'm eating mofos, yeah. Freaking munching away, you get. Haven't eaten today. Ugh. Well,
you haven't eaten?
Oh, I've got some salty crackers I'm munching on. Yeah, but I don't want to eat them on stream because I'll be just like crunching every 2 seconds.
Yeah, I made myself a sandwich earlier. Just finished it when you sent me the message.
Sandwich. Yeah, so basically the armor's going to be black or extremely dark grey, but well, the models I've done are dark grey, just because I didn't want them. Yeah, because painting black on a model is fucking difficult.
Yeah, no kidding. I've been figuring that out.
Yeah, so what I've done is I've done it so that it's really dark grey, so there's still a difference between dark grey and black, you know, or using null oil to create a shadow. And
so I actually been trying to use a technique that you know who Vince Venturella is?
I've heard the name, but I can't.
He's Golden Brush winner. Crystal Brush Golden Demon winner. I've been watching some of his painting videos, and he did one about black armor. And you still use black, but you only use you also use like a dark, like a transition going from black up to an off-white, not like pure white, but an off-white, like so like a sand white or something that's tannish white or something like that. But there's blue in there if you want it, in things like that, and it's a really interesting. It actually looks really well, and that's what I've been trying to do.
Yeah.
Just practicing. Like, do you remember seeing the Imperial Fist one?
Oh yeah.
That I posted. Well, that was one where I started with a flat black using scale 75, and scale 75 I believe is one of the reasons why I'm having issues with it, because they have such a matte finish, which isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing for the most part. But for what I'm trying to do, you want more of a glossy finish.
Yeah.
Right? Because matte black looks more of a gray than a black, whereas a glossy black looks really black. And what I did is I used black as the base color and went through and started throwing on highlights here and there of a petroleum gray, which is more of a brownish gray.
Yeah.
And then I put on an even finer highlight of arc. What was it? Shit, now I don't remember what color this was, but it was a. I believe it was an Arctic blue, or no, it's just graphene. Now I remember graphene. Graphene as the actual highlight, and you can see the ridges and everything, so it actually looks black. But the trick to it, according to him, is, and just about everybody else that I've watched painting black of some kind who aren't just edge highlighting like the heavy metal style, which I don't like,
Oh yeah.
is you need your surface to be at least 60 to 70% black with a transitional highlight going up from there.
Yeah.
So, in the first one that I used, I tried to do where I base coat in the mid-tone, which is a gray, and then I shade down to black and up from gray for the highlights. And that didn't really work the way I wanted it to, because for some reason, no matter what I did, no matter how many glazes I threw on there of black, it stayed gray.
Mm.
So I have areas that I obviously tried to glaze, but didn't glaze because reasons. And then I have areas on the other one where it's clear that I brought the color up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't bring the color up enough. Plus the Imperial Fists pauldron is so bad. I did such a bad job with it that it just draws any attention away from that. But yeah, lining with black on yellow is hard because you see every single little mistake.
Oh yes. I've always found that if you water it down the black and just so it's barely visible, and just keep on doing layer upon layer upon layer and darken it up every layer,
That's glazing.
Yeah, you have you can use it for also probably I would assume like edge lines, so you can actually just creep up on it rather than just do a great big line. It's like I've actually seen someone actually use like just a normal fine liner.
Yeah, that's the heavy metal style where they do fine edge highlights, panel lining on everything. If you look at a box, a Games Workshop box, and you see those little lines on the power armor, that's basically what you just described, where they just put in a very fine line of with the Death Watch, their 3 colors for the armor is they recommend the Abaddon black, obviously. Then I believe it is what is that gray? Shit, I can't remember the gray. One of the grays that's a layer, and then Fenrisian blue, which is a very bright bluish gray. And I personally don't like that style. It makes everything just look really busy to me. It's like it just draws too much of the eye away from the things that you want to be the eyes to be focusing on.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm trying to do it more of a gradual transition, similar to how you do non-metallic metals. And I tried to do the glazing down, which is where you take a really thin, really watered down paint and then just layer it and layer it and layer it and layer it. And I put 20 layers of this glaze on, and it still looks gray. The same exact gray as everything else. So I obviously failed somewhere. I'm just not sure where.
I think when it comes to painting, a lot of it is definite trial and error. How even I fuck up occasionally, like the edge highlighting I did for my Marines. It's so over the place in half of it. Why isn't fucking Photoshop? You suck ass badly. Just trying to get this thing to fucking close. I've had this version of Photoshop for fucking ages, And only in the last year it started to fuck up on me. It's like, ugh.
Alright, so let me link you to, let's see, copy image. And can I message in this thing?
Yeah, there's a side chat if I remember
There
correctly.
it is. Here, paste. Oh, it didn't work. Let me just copy the link to the tweet, and then you can just show the image if you want. Copy link. Paste. There we go.
Oh, let's bring that up.
All right, so if you're looking at it, the Imperial Fist with the shotgun, right? I'm not very happy with how some of them came out. I'm probably going to repaint the shotgun again.
Yeah.
And I haven't. I was intending on doing a wash on the armor.
Mm-hmm.
I just never got around to it. I'm probably going to go back to it. But he's the one where I was trying to do where you block in the color and then glaze the transition so that it's a gradual transition, right? I'm not done with him. It's just an example, right? The guy with the shield, with the storm shield and the power maul, he's done. There's nothing really else I can do with him.
Yeah.
Short of completely redoing everything. He's the one where I used the gray. Mm-hmm. Now, at a glance, he looks a little bit better.
Yeah. The one on the one with the shotgun looks a little bit matte, or more matte than the one on the right. In the gray
That's
area.
because I used different colors.
Yeah.
Like the guy on the left, I used all scale color, all scale 75, and their paints have a very matte finish, which is something that you'd like to have on a lot of different things, so that it doesn't catch light where you don't want it to catch light. But in the case of black armor, it would be better to have a bit of a glossy finish, because the matte makes it look gray rather than being black. So
I think my only suggestion, if you wanted to make it darker, would be to use inks.
I don't have inks yet.
Yeah, Games Workshop no longer does them, if I remember correctly.
I don't really like Games Workshop paints.
Some of their colors are really good. Some of them can be really.
All right, so they're Caliban, they're Caliban green, they're Moot green, and then their Warpstone Glow are probably my favorite colors from them.
Yeah.
They're Caliban green because it's a very nice green that darkens up really well, and it's also got really good coverage, but it's a base color, so of course it's got good coverage. But aside from that, I've used a number of other colors from them that just didn't feel good to use.
Yeah, I must admit, ever since the new color palette, the new color tones that I have is a lot worse than it used to be, in my opinion. Basically, I got into Games Workshop stuff when they had the old hexagon bottles back in the day. I think I've actually posted a picture of one. And they were watery as shit, but they lasted a long fucking time. I've still got a couple of bottles that are still good even after nearly 20 years. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous how long they've lasted. But then they went on to the smaller hexagon bottles with black top. Now I find that those colours were perfect. Yeah, they literally, I'd never ever had a problem with any one of the colours, other than that they dry out incredibly quickly. But the one thing they did right was their inks. and if I remember correctly, Games Workshop no longer does these kinds of inks in their range at the moment. It's all washes
No,
and stuff.
I think they stopped doing
Yeah,
inks.
their
Um,
inks were perfect. They were fucking brilliant. They were vibrant. They could be watered down quite a bit and still keep a decent color.
See, that's
I
why I
use them
like.
now.
That's actually why I like scale colors so much.
Mm.
It's like they have all of their colors, even the yellow
Yeah.
that I used for the um, Imperial Fist, has really, really good coverage for what it is, right? And that's what actually sold me on them. The way they feel when you're using them
Yeah.
and the coverage that you actually get is really, really nice. So like imagine you have your paints and you actually get a really good you like so the way I best describe it is painting with scale 75 is like painting with butter,
Mm.
whereas painting with Vallejo and Army Painter is like painting with chalk.
I have.
That's the nearest I can put it. It's like um I like Army Painter's metals right now
Mm.
because I haven't used anything that's worked better. I used the Citadel metals and I just did not like them. And so far, Vallejo's the model colors metals didn't really like them either. They were
Yeah.
very similar to Citadel metals. They don't have very good coverage,
Mm.
even for a metal,
Yeah.
and I just didn't like them. And but the scale 75 is just it's so nice. And
Oh yeah, I'm looking at what's it there, Fantasy Collection,
yo,
and that's 179.95 UK. It's like
yeah, but they
oof.
give you so many paints with it. It's like I
Yeah.
just got the their full normal scale colors.
Mm.
Like it's like 63 different colors in it.
Yeah.
So it's quite it's an expensive box, but it was
Uh-huh.
cheaper than getting the set one hue at a time.
Yeah.
You know, getting the black and the white, and then getting the blues, and then getting the greens, and then getting the browns.
Yeah. True.
It's like I had bought the reds before, just to try them out, and whew, so nice. That's what actually sold me to get it.
I will give them a try at some point. Like I'll get like a basic starter set and see what they're like. And, for Army Painter, I like how liquid their paints are. In some respects, it's just like yeah, I've had a lot of success with some of their paints. Their greens are, yeah, the darker greens are perfect. Their lighter green, or the jungle green, it's watery as shit. But I've found out that if I put a bit of Vallejo airbrush thinner in it, it makes it a little bit better to work with, but not by
Ah,
much. Yeah, because at the moment I'm using that stuff for my Necrons to try and brighten up the green because I didn't want it. I wanted it the sort of neon green, well, the kind of green I used for my tank thing that I did, but I can't remember for the life of me what color I used. So I have to go with whatever I've got. So and at the moment it's a mishmash of old fucking Games Workshop blacktop hexagon colors, which are dried up to shit. But luckily enough, a lot of those can be reactivated with just a bit of water and a bit of smushing about. But yeah, it's like some of the colors can be fucking abysmal, and having to fucking agitate them all the time. I do need to get more better bearings for those as it goes. The ones I got were like freaking so tiny. It's just like I didn't figure out the size of them, which was my bad. But it's definitely something I need to get for the future, like a heavier bearing, so I can actually agitate them better, because a lot of them do need a lot of work to get them running.
mm,
Okay. Right, I'm hoping that this is a good layer. Sorry, I'm just bringing up my trying to get my trying to do my template as well. So just bear with me. I'm just trying to figure out some stuff. I'm using a program I have very little experience with, unfortunately. That did not work. I need as white, so why isn't it? Okay, you want to be difficult, you bastard. Ugh. Okay. Why isn't it working? There you go, that'll do it. Size. That should, yeah, that's perfect. There you go. Done and done. We're all good. Yeah, so as I was saying about inks, I have actually found one ink that is fucking fantastic. And the bottles you get are kind of big. They're not actually that expensive. I think it's called Dorla and Roni or Rowney. Oh, so I'll stick it on the stream. Well, on my, if you're looking at the stream, it's on the front. And for a pack of 6, you get, they're about £20 for us, and they're the primary colours, but they are such vibrant colours, go down very well, and you can actually and they're acrylic as well. They can be a little bit shiny, but if you get something like Vallejo matte varnish, it brings them down a lot.
I've heard a lot of good things about that brand that you were just saying.
The inks.
Dollar Rowney.
Yeah,
of the inks itself. They also make a couple of thinners, a couple of flow improvers, and things like that I've heard good things about. Right now, I'm actually playing around with Vallejo's Glaze Medium because I'm finding that just using water isn't really working too well for me.
Yeah, the Vallejo airbrush thinner I'm using it just dries up too quickly, so I might actually have to get their medium as well at some point.
Yeah, it's how fast it dries that I'm not liking. So the glaze medium, it thins it down to a glaze consistency.
Yeah.
But it dries the same amount, the same speed as a unglazed paint.
I know Games Workshop do their own. I've got a bottle of it here somewhere.
That Lamia medium?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Lithium. Or L-A-H-M-I-A-N. I find that, okay, but that can be a little bit too thin for my liking. I want something just slightly thicker. And unfortunately, I fucking spilt all of this, so I've got to buy another fucking bottle of it when I can. But that one was alright. That dried at the same rate as their normal paints do, which is pretty decent, you know. So
yeah,
it wasn't actually too bad. But it's all about trial and error to see what actually works for you. I've got to a point where I know all the paints that I'm working with, and I think a lot of it is basically just done by eye. It's like not something I know what I'm doing. I just do it because I've sort of, learned in my hindbrain how to do it. It's like with all the my poxwalkers, a lot of that is literally inking. Really.
So a lot of flesh effects I'm seeing is more about glazing and inking and using really thin layers to do gradual. But I don't know. What's the name? There's Cujo. He's a painter that has a few videos out, and the way he does it is he blocks in the highlights, the midtones, and the lowlights, your shades, and then he glazes over the transitions to make the actual transition be a gradual fade into or out of a certain color. And I think that's probably going to be the technique that I'm going to end up using, because it gets all of the colors that I want in the place that I want them to be.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to pull colors into a place that it already has a base color there, which makes it harder to actually do. You need more layers to do it that way than it is if you just block it in to start with.
Well, the one thing I definitely do a lot of practice with is flesh tones. I just cannot do fucking faces to save my life. They always look weird or cartoony or boss-eyed.
I haven't even tried doing anything flesh-based yet. It's like everything's been mechanical, like with my Armigers, the Titan, and then I did a freaking Dreadnought.
If you're looking at the stream, this is the pilot for my Canis Rex. Now that is probably one of the better faces I've done.
Let me see the... I don't think I have you in my subscriptions, do I?
Sacrilege. It's the same as my
username. I don't follow a lot of people, man.
The only problem is with my Canis Rex, when I first started painting, my gold was old. I mean, like, incredibly old. It was so gritty and nasty. But considering this was the first miniature I painted for... Fucking hell, it's been a long time.
There you are.
Yeah, the Canis Rex this painted was my first miniature I painted for well over 5 years. And if you saw the recent picture I did of my comparison of my current level to my previous level, this isn't even this is an improvement. Yeah, but
okay.
Unfortunately, the gold.
Yeah, you've got a lot of texture in the gold.
Yeah, unfortunately, also the primer I used wasn't exactly great for this one. It was really old primer, so even the black.
Yeah, I ordered. I've been using Rust-Oleum rattle can primers. No, not Rust-Oleum. It's Zinsser.
Yeah.
Zinsser primer, and I prefer to use a gray coat, but I find that the rattle can primers are really difficult to not block out the details or fill in the spaces between the details.
Yeah.
So I bought some Vallejo brush-on airbrush primer.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm planning on giving that a shot.
Airbrush priming gives you a lot more control, I must admit. I've used it a couple of times. Like on my Space Marines, I primed that so many fucking times because I wasn't happy with the colour. So it lost a bit of detail, unfortunately, but not much. I've learned from my previous ones, but I found that depends on how much particulates the spray has. If you're using one that has like a base coat and then a primer, then you've lost all detail. Some you have to be very quick doing the passes. So basically, you got to be at least 1 or 2 foot away. Well, the can has to be about 1.5 foot away from the thing. You just got to run it across it, even if it doesn't look like a great deal of paint's gone on it. You just got to go spray it backwards and forwards, not in like holding your finger down. So basically, when you depress when you start, you release when you finish the line, and then basically go over it again. And even though it's little by little, you get less clogging up the detail.
Right.
Adam Savage on Tested has shows it quite well how to do it, and it's saved me. Like my Canis Rex Dreadnought was done like that, and I had literally no clogging of detail whatsoever. I just took my time, thin layers, going backwards, but over and over until it started filling out properly.
Right. I keep hearing that ladder going, man.
Yeah, so I smoke roll-ups and they go out like every 2 seconds.
What happened to your What happened to trying to vape?
Yeah, I'm trying, but I'm still trying to get used to it. So it's
Ah,
basically half vaping, half smoking at the moment.
gotcha.
Yeah. So it's just like every like morning up until about I'd say about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I start vaping, and then I fucking just start hacking. So it's just like no, back on the cigarette. Then everything calms down.
You know what that? You know what that hacking is?
Yeah, my lungs fucking up as they always do. Yeah, but
No, it's the tar.
yeah.
It's all that tar from the
Well,
cigarette
it's
starting to come up.
it's not so much the what's it, no, it's not so much my lungs that are screwing up. It's mostly my throat. It's like just that the hit of the vape, my throat hasn't gotten used to that feeling yet, so it induces me
Uh,
coughing, and that's
yeah,
probably
okay.
because
I
my
can.
yeah, it's probably because my juice has got too much nicotine in it as well. For what it is, I think I need to go down a level, but
What do you have it at right now?
I have no idea. Let's have a it says on the bottle 18 milligrams.
Oof,
Yeah, so
that is high.
it's high, so I'm gonna have to go down a level and see how that does. Yeah, if that because I think it's mostly because the how high it is screwing up my lungs on that one. But yeah, so this is my. It's not exactly a great picture. I will have to take better pictures of this eventually. Um, and what's mine? Yeah, the best paint job I did on her face was this lady. I
Okay.
you can barely see it, but it is literally the best paint job I've ever done on a face. It was subtle. It looked like a fucking face, a painting of a face. It's like it looks proper, but yeah, it took me fucking ages to get it right with a pair of fucking what's it like magnifying goggles and all sorts, But
Mm.
I think the best skin tone or the best skin I've ever done on a model is this guy.
Oh, that's nice.
Just the mouth on that is the best paint job I've ever fucking done. Yeah.
I'm currently trying to paint a space wolf pauldron.
Ooh.
I forgot that space wolves also have yellow on their pauldron,
Do they? Oh
or else I
yeah.
wouldn't have done this.
Well, talking about yellow, my angry Tau.
Dang, that's a lot of yellow.
Yep. Fucking so many fucking coats of yellow. And that was even on a white fucking prime coat as well.
Yeah, I think that this yellow ochre is actually the right yellow too.
So with this I would have used inks, but the ink that I get for Games Workshop is too orange. It's even when it's watered down, it's too orange for what I need. So yeah, I would have inked it, but I think fucking got my Canis Rec Pilot in here. It's such a shame that it's covered up. But at least I've got the hatch where I've
Isn't your cockpit? Didn't you leave your cockpit openable?
yeah, it's the hatch has like a little. I've got a little handhold on it, so you can just take the hatch off whenever you want to see it inside. Yeah,
Okay.
but it's something I really wish I could have lit, but I wasn't confident enough to do that with my Wraith Fighter, which is still in bits. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna light that fucker because
Uh,
it's
that's something I can't help you with because
it's. But I've got the LEDs, got the wire, got the battery pack. It's just trying to figure out where I'm going to place the lights inside it so it gives the best light effect. Because on if you actually look at the pictures for it, because I haven't got any pictures for this, there's like little vents at the very top of it, which I've fucking sanded out and cut out. I put a bit of plastic behind it with a bit of red ink, so basically it just shines through red. Even though I'm going to be using a red LED, I just did it just to be on the safe side. The front intakes for the engine have the same thing, and the engine at the back will have red as well. So I don't want to see inside it to see the LED. I just want to see the red. I've got gun pods on little wings on the side that I need to do that too as well, but that's probably going to be more difficult because the clearance between the two parts of the kit that make up the winglets is so fucking small. I don't think I can get a wire in there without having to cut the model up, and I don't know if I can be fucked to get that detailed. The cockpit, I've pretty much fucking cut out the back of it near enough just to let light through, and I'm hoping that the red light will go through it, but I haven't been able to test it just yet. I need to get some of those sort of watch batteries to give it a good test at some point.
Right.
But that's an ongoing project for the future, because
I mean, you could always just make a really big plinth for it to sit on.
Well, I've got some sort of like plastic boarding that I nicked from work, yeah, and I'm going to use that as its base as well as the one that it came with, just so I've got a bit more extra playroom for a battery pack and a switch. So you can turn it on via the base. And because I fucked up with the with the actual sort of the arm for it, or the thing that attaches it to the base, I had to paint it black, which is a good thing because I can run the wires in the corners of the little base area. So it's sort of like a cross thing, so I can run the wires where people won't see it, and I can paint the black as well, so they sort of blend in. Yeah.
Okay.
So luckily enough, that's not too much of a problem. But yeah, that's an ongoing thing. I've still got to do the what was it called? The template. But my ability to cut templates is sadly lacking.
Yeah, no, I remember us having that conversation. There's a guy on YouTube called eBay Rescues, and he just did a night not that long ago and did a really big thing on the templates and stenciling and stuff. So let me actually link that to you. The way he does it is pretty interesting. It seems to work really well, though it might be difficult for you to do because of how much quid you'd have to shell out for it. Let me see here.
So I know you can actually use a stencil cutter, but I know these can run up to about £200 easily. And yeah, I'll only be using it occasionally, so it's not really worth the money. The money I'd have to shell out for it, unfortunately.
Where's my history? Oh, I watched so much shit between watching that and everything else. Hang on. Where are you, you son of a bitch?
Actually, I've got.
You just put this video out yesterday.
I've got a picture of my.
There it is. Rescuing an Imperial Knight. And then let's see his actual channel. Because he actually. There it is. Copy. And you can watch this later. And oops. God damn it. There it is. Boom.
Awesome sauce.
Like, I like his channel because he'll grab miniatures, 40K and otherwise, off of eBay, and then do a full repaint on them.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of his bits and pieces.
What's up, guys? My name is Casey.
Look, yeah, don't want to be showing that. Okay, save, watch later. There you go. I will do that later.
Being very, very careful right now, because I'm trying to paint this black on this wolf over the yellow field. Like, Really trying not to get anything on the field.
Everybody in the chat.
Oh, I can't hear them. I don't care.
No,
It's you I'm telling to shut the fuck up.
There's no one in my chat. But, yeah, when you've finished, I've got my pox walkers.
Flies, motherfuckers!
Shit. Oh, come on. It's so hard to see the tip of a black paintbrush over a black heck miniature that you're painting.
Something I definitely need to buy is a proper freaking white light. Yeah.
Oh, I just bought I had a desk lamp already, but it had a yellow a yellow bulb in it, a yellow LED bulb. I just bought a daylight balanced one and put it in there instead, and it works pretty well.
Yeah, I've got a desk lamp, and it's an LED one, but it's starting to fail on me now. Fucking cheap ass piece of crap that it is. Half the LEDs don't work, and the other ones seem to flicker whenever they fucking feel like it. So I get like fucking nasty light from it. But I really need a proper LED lamp.
That is why I prefer to get ones with bulbs that I can easily replace. It's like the Edison style sockets.
Yeah.
And then just replace those as needed.
Yeah, I did used to have a fucking a sort of armature lamp like that, but fucking I threw that thing out years ago, and I really wish I didn't now. Yeah.
All right, managed to do that really well.
Yeah.
See if I can get.
Yeah, if you wanted an update on my pox walkers, they're on my screen at the moment. I really do need.
I will.
With the new ones, I definitely need to give it a pass with the hard coat, so I can make it look a bit more gooey. And I need to put a bit more.
Yeah, let me shoot you an image of what I just did, and then I will look at your poxwalkers.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I wonder if I can zoom in so I can get the grodiness on screen. Oh no, it won't let me do it on fucking Chrome. Oh, fucking bums. Pansies. Chrome, you suck.
That's what I just had to do. I hope I sent that to you.
1 second.
Yep, I sent it to you.
What did you send it? Via okay.
Twitter.
Yes, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, the yellow is one coat. The black is one coat. That's why I like scale. That's why I like scale color so much. It's a very, very good coverage on almost all of their colors. I haven't found one that doesn't have good coverage.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely gonna have to give it a try.
Yeah, they're nice. It's so nice to use, but they are very matte. So if you're gonna paint black armor, definitely mix a little bit of ink into your black so it gets a little bit that semi-glossy effect. So I will be right back.
No worries. So, Glavy, you've had your munch, I take it.
Yeah, some pork pie, mate.
Ooh, pork pie.
Some pork pie.
Oh, I can't touch those anymore. Fucking thing gives me acid reflux. That's why I don't shop at Greg's anymore. Oh, stuff gives me nasty acid reflux.
Well, that's because of all that Pepsi you were drinking.
No. It's, any sort of pastry like Greg's, and that's it. My stomach will not forgive me for months afterwards.
But that creates an environment in your stomach where you're more prone to acid. I'm case in question. I used to drink nothing but Pepsi Max, probably more than you did. And now I've got.
I have.
All right, I'm back.
That's right. Any other thing? My stomach doesn't react that way to anything else other than pastry like that.
Oh, she can't have a meat pie.
Can't touch them. I can eat short crust pastry. I can eat I can eat short crust pastry, but I can't touch like a normal pie because
You can't have a steak bake.
Hmm?
You couldn't have a steak bake.
Yeah, pretty much. I miss the cheese and onion pasties.
Right.
Y'all talking about your English shit?
Oh yeah, Greg's cheese and onion pasties are the bomb. Well, they used to be, but I can't touch them anymore. Sigh.
Our food is absolutely lovely.
If
From
a little
our
bit
blood
bland.
to our eels.
Jelly deals. No, fuck off with that shit.
Pie mashing liquor. Can't beat it.
No. And on screen, I currently have my Belisarius call.
Belisarius call.
I'm absolutely fucking amazed I could fucking paint that. I'm still amazed I could paint that.
Okay, there we go. Ah,
Still not quite happy.
that is a lot of detail, man.
Oh, it took me.
That is a lot of detail.
It took me so fucking long, but actually, it's not. I didn't paint a great deal of detail. I think the most detailed parts were, if anything, was probably the robes, just the layers of red paint that I had to use.
Yeah, but no, look at all the. It's all the gold trim that I'm looking at.
Oh, a lot of that was basically, it was just gold. I see. I don't see this as detail because it is just the one color. It's like if I was actually doing like ornate painting, that's what I call detail. But yeah.
Well, when I talk details, I mean like little things that are not the same color as its surrounding.
So I think the worst thing I had to do in this whole entire model was the gauges. There's like a little gauge on his walking cane with a skull head, and there's one on his axe. Fucking took me like 20 tries to get that fucking right. Yeah.
Is that model I did for you? That's that model I did for you, isn't it?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, what's that? I was going to show Poxwalkers, wasn't I? I still got my fucking Tyrannid to fucking finish off, so I've left it like that at the moment. I still need to blend it in a little bit. And redo some of the sort of markings on the armor. But yeah, definitely happy with the base on that. Even though it's got a bit weird. So I think that's because of the stuff I used for it. Poxwalkers, yeah, Poxwalkers. Where are my Poxwalkers? Poxwalkers. Oh yeah, these are my Marines. If you didn't see them, unfortunately, I had to turn up the brightness on my, the brightness on my fucking on my iPhone, because iPhones are shit. So that's a lot of the detail, but the face on the kind of central one, I just can't get that fucker right. So I've left it. But these are the this is the sort of color scheme for my chapter. So it's going to be like dark, very extremely dark grey, with the red lining and gold bits and pieces.
To be perfectly honest, I'm not a big fan of gold with black. I'm more of a silver with black. Like gold is really good with white.
Yeah.
But with black, I definitely prefer silver. It's almost like there's too stark of a difference between the two.
My gold, I normally give it a wash of flesh wash to make it a bit more bronzy.
Oh, for that, I just use weapon bronze.
Yeah, I've tried using those, and it doesn't quite give the same effect. Yeah,
True.
I've always found if I use a gold.
Are you using bright gold or greedy gold?
I use, where'd it go? Fucking, I've just dumped all my fucking paints in my fucking army painter box. Where'd it go? Come on. Actually, is it in there? Yeah, it should be in there. Second, that's my. I'm using Retributor armor from Games.
Oh, okay, that explains it. So Army Painter has 2 golds, right? It's got a bright gold, and it's got a greedy gold.
Yeah.
And it also has a weapon bronze.
Yeah, I find them too shiny, as in like the particulates in it make it too glistening. And yeah, it just doesn't look right. It looks too much like shining gold, whereas this has that sort of bronze brass sort of look I like. I'm very particular about the gold I use. I did actually try using what ones do I have? Because I actually got the full ring shimmer enough. So I've got bright gold and greedy gold. And bright gold, no way, that's just too bright. And greedy gold is too shiny. And,
okay.
With what's it, the one from Games Workshop, it's just the perfect color, but I need to slightly darken it down so it gives that brassy effect. Which I use the flesh wash for, or you could probably use a sort of like a brown ink, maybe, if you water it down enough. But I think brown would probably make it too dark. But the flesh wash is definitely perfect for that, to make it sort of brassy. But I think I used a combination of non oil to get the sort of shade in between, like you see on the Aquila on the chest. It's basically a quick going over with non oil, then a little highlight with the gold again, and then over with the flesh wash.
Okay.
But yeah, that's something I've always done, and it's always worked for me.
Yeah, I like. I really like the Army Painter metals because if I take gunmetal, I can highlight it. I can use gunmetal as the shade, and then I use plate metal as the mid-tone, and then shining silver as the highlight. And it seems to work really, really well.
I find the gunmetal is just not dark enough. Yeah, I like lead belcher, but there was another, I think it was bolt gun metal back in the day, which was actually even darker than lead belcher. Even though people swear there's no difference, there is definitely a difference when it dries, and it was a lot darker than what they've got now, which is a pity. It's like, because if you're going to add black to, or a darker color to a metallic, and you need to do it, to get that same color, it doesn't always work properly.
Yeah, and that's just because of the way that metallics work. I mean,
and I would love to find a metallic that I could water down without it fucking up. Yeah,
you're not going to find one of those.
Yeah, unfortunately, to my chagrin, and also I've actually, I've fucked up plenty of models fucking actually trying to thin that stuff down, because the Games Workshop Retributor armor is incredibly thick, and it dries out so incredibly quickly. So you put a dab on a palette, by the time you finish one little bit of detail and go back to it, you got to fucking put another dab because the last dab fucking dried up on you. Which is a pity, but yeah. So this is the color scheme I'm going with for the boys. Oh, I forgot to put my poxwalkers, my grody poxwalkers.
See, if I were to do my own homebrew, I would likely have to base it off of the Dark Angels because I love green so much.
Yeah.
Green is my favorite hue. I love to paint with it. I like to wear it. It is my favorite.
That's fair enough.
So,
well, you can tell from mine it's black and red. Not so much
yeah.
gold. I don't actually own anything gold, thankfully. But yeah, everything I own is everything I paint is nearly black and red, pretty much. But then again, that's what
give that a little bit of variation there, dude. Because I've been trying to do some variation on mine.
To tell you the truth, I must say a lot of the sort of stuff I've been asked to do has actually been black and gold, or black and red and gold, because they like it so much. For the few commissions that I've had. Oh, this is my Death Guard Marines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I still need to get a bit better on the green armor. Like, yeah,
you just gotta do a little bit more of the glazing between the transitions, man.
Yeah,
because that transition looks really stark.
Yeah, the one.
But I'm gonna show you a picture really quick here. Taking this picture like right now.
I think I've got the grody skin nastiness down to a T now, so I am confident I could probably do sort of like a.
All right. So when I say this, when I tell you this, I'm being very serious. Ignore the freaking feet. So that's the Primaris Dreadnought that I just did. Not that long ago. I was using the upper armor panels to practice a little bit with my glazing with shades. I think I did okay. Yeah, you can see there's a spot on the right on over the power claw where my paint beaded a little bit and I didn't notice. But this is probably my favorite part of that. And I'll show you. I gotta take another picture.
A very clean job.
You have someone else in chat, by the way.
Do I? Sorry, chat. I don't have my purpose. Oh, Toya, hi. Sorry, I didn't see you there. My bad. How you doing? Yeah, we're talking about painting and 40k. I didn't know if it was something you'd be interested in, so I didn't send it. Yeah, it's not a subject for everyone.
No, so much you can talk about paint colours, though. Really, come on.
You can show these on stream if you want to, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So that people know what.
Okay, let me bring up your. There you go.
So I got two pictures in there. So the first one, that's the whole thing. So you see the skull with the wings?
Yeah.
That's greedy gold with a wash. All I did was greedy gold with a very light wash. I believe I used Nuln Oil. Yeah, I used Nuln Oil. And that came out really well. If you look over on the panel where, the side with the completely unpainted foot, that panel right there, that corner, is where the red decided to pile up a little bit.
Yeah.
Hi, Toya. I can see you. I just saw your messages. So it piled up a little bit, and it ended up leaving that really gross texture right there, just like, obviously. I'm tempted to try a technique where I can turn that into like a crater from a cannon shell. I saw a guy do.
That would definitely work.
And that might actually change that a little bit. But I was using these front panels to play with glazing in a transition. And it didn't really work very well, but you can kind of see it. Now, if you scroll down to the next one, this is actually my favorite part that I did, and I think this is why I like the easy put together 40k models, is because you sometimes get little under details like this. and just having that cross there with the red in the fields and then the greedy gold again.
Yeah.
Was really cool.
Yeah,
and I'm surprised I was able to do as good a job with that as I did. I just wish that my scrolling was better on the fake lettering was a little bit better. But
my fake lettering is shit as well, so don't worry about that. But I rarely try and put it on. If you did, I take a picture of. Actually, probably not. My what's it? My what was it called? My Triumph of St. Catherine, Sisters of Battle. I did that, and it's like they've got like massive banners that has to have a lot of it on there. So I just scrawled whatever. I didn't care if it looked shit at that point. I was just so done with that model kit because I lost parts to it. There's one of the models that actually doesn't have any arms.
Okay.
I lost the piece. You know.
Oof.
But luckily enough, that section was black, so you don't really notice it if you're looking at the model as a whole. And because the hands for it was a separate piece, I managed to glue the hands in front of it, so it still looked like there were arms there. You know, one day it's like before I have to ship it off, I will go back with a bit of green stuff and actually add arms to it. You know, just for my own peace of mind, if anything. Yeah, because that would seriously bug me if I have to. Yeah, if I have to stay with that. Actually, let me see. Did I take a picture of it? No, I took some pictures of the kit as I was making it, but I didn't put it in my lineup of stuff I've already done. I will have to add to that tweet at some point or another. There's a few models I definitely need to go back to, like my old Avatar of Kane. I really need to go back to, but I really want to. I want to wait until Games Workshop re-release that model kit because it's high time they did.
Yeah, there's a lot of kits that I've seen that need to be re-released.
Some of them are just copies from their old metal kit, and it just seems cheap because they fucking decided to up the price on them. And they're worth a hell of a lot less, than they used to be. Yeah, brain the size of a planet. But yeah, as I was saying, so my homebrew chapter is the second lost chapter. Primark still living. I'm trying to figure out the lore for it because I'm not great with the dates or the sort of times. Basically,
I'm not either. It would have to be pre-heresy.
Well, basically, yeah, it's got to be. It's all pre-heresy. It's
So first founding.
Yeah. So basically, the planet. Well, the planet was discovered with the Primark on it, but. I'm still trying to figure out the lore because I'm not entirely sure because there's a lot of lore and I got to figure out if it works or not because it's basically a planet of a whole solar system of psychic blanks.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the entire system does not exist in the warp whatsoever. Like literally, it's a complete blind spot, and basically the planet was settled during the golden age of technology. Psychic blanks started to develop there, but not many. Then Then obviously the Emperor created the Primarchs. This one was a psychic blank, which kind of fucks up the Emperor because he's heavily psychic. So basically, him being all-knowing, sort of like powerful and all the rest of it, used him as a sort of backup plan against. Basically a weapon against the warp. So and basically his chapter are also psychic blanks, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. Sort of basically they're being sequestered onto this planet to be left alone. So the system is, as far as the Imperium's concerned, it's a no-go planet. I can't remember their classifications for it. So basically, no one is allowed to go there. Anyone, not even the Inquisition. The basic what's it, and also because the planet is highly technologically advanced as well. It has kept a lot of its technology from the Golden Age, so it has a
functioning STC,
an extensive STC library. So none of the designs have been corrupted or anything like that. They are pristine. So therefore the Mechanicum want it with a passion. But that's and hence there's an also reason why that my Legion hates the Mechanicum as well, because they see them as subhuman and just disgusting usurpers. And basically trying to tell humanity what to do when it comes to technology and just keeping them in the dark ages. So basically they hate a lot about the Imperium except for the Emperor.
Can I ask what might be a stupid question?
What would that be?
You call them the Lost Legion, don't you?
Or the Forgotten?
Okay, because they can't be lost if you know where they are.
They're basically they're kind of they're basically stricken from the record. So basically, there's only like a few people that know of them, but they don't know about the Primarch, or they just know that there's a planet of psychic blanks that have an STC, an extension, that are highly technologically advanced, but that's about it. And that there's Marines there, but it's basically a hush job. Leave well enough alone, or we're going to get crushed by them. So
the do not touch Legion. Then.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, it's like they are forgotten by the Imperium because the powers that be basically know if they go and try and mess with them, they're going to get fucked up.
So kind of like excommunication.
Yeah, kind of. Best to leave them alone. Strike them from the record so no one knows about them. So they go out every. If they hear if they hear a call for aid, they'll attend. Kind of like the Legion of the Damned. Kind of, they show up whenever they feel like it for their reasons of their own. They don't talk to their battle brothers or whatever they want to call them. They're basically in, out, do the job. Minimum of contact. Just hopefully waiting for the day when either the Emperor returns or the humanity gets rid of the way it is.
Mechanicum.
The Mechanicum, the Ecclesiarchy, and also the current Ministorum. Or the government, should I say. Basically they're waiting for the Emperor's return, or the way that things used to be with the Emperor. But they've also figured out that being completely xenophobic doesn't work. So they work with the Eldar and the Tau on occasion.
Well, the Imperium as a whole still works with the Tau every once in a while. It's like when it comes to the Tyranids, at least.
But it's like with mine, they know their value, and they know that that they shouldn't just get rid of them, because if they get rid of them, they're fucked as much as everybody else is. Especially when it comes to the Chaos Gods and all the rest of it. So they definitely see the value, as Gilliman has kind of seen the value of Eldar, I think. Even to a small extent, but that hasn't been sort of alluded to yet. But I think he might come to the conclusion that they're all in this together to get rid of chaos. Yeah, but I think that'll be sort of revealed, I think, in the future with the with the birth of the new chaos god, or the elder god, Yaniv, I think her name was, or something or his name. Yeah.
Say that again?
So the new elder god that's going to be supposedly birthed soon.
Oh, him.
I don't know if it's a him or her. I haven't really been told either way, to tell you the truth. Androgynous at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Eldar, so I don't pay as much attention to them as I probably should.
I'm a big fan because back in the day they looked cool. Yeah, but
I'll give you that.
Yeah, and they still look cool, but their models are incredibly dated because they haven't been updated for a while. It's like they brought out new units, but their base models that they've already brought out have had very little to no fucking change. Yeah, I think the biggest change they had was the Elder Guardians, which was their basic bog standard troop, which was, I think, the first kit, well, the first models that Games Workshop produced that you could actually pose properly, decently. So the torso was separate, the arms were separate, so on and so forth. Whereas before it was just like one or two parts, like a gun to stick on and the base, and that was it, onto the body. Like the old style Marines, which were like the base, the gun, and the backpack, and that was it. You couldn't pose them, you couldn't do fuck all with them.
Yeah, I kind of wish that was easier to do with current miniatures, with the whole being able to pose them even after you finish putting them together without doing serious modifications to them.
Yeah, unfortunately, the easy fit stuff I'm not a big fan of, just because it's harder to make them, to make them different than what they're made as. All you can do is move the arms forward or backwards, or move the torso slightly.
Well, that Primaris Dreadnought is one of those easy togethers.
Yeah, I still find that the original...
That's the work that I just did.
Yeah, the original Dreadnought, I think I've actually got one here as it goes somewhere.
Venerable Dreadnought.
Oh no, this was just a venerable one would be more ornate. My one's just a bog standard old school Dreadnought. But the legs are not so much posable, but you could do stuff. There was like plenty of tutorials on how to pose them. But you had like a lot more to go with them. You had different weapons that you could choose, and different attachments. Whereas the kit that you get for the current Dreadnought is basic. You only get what weapon they want you to have, and you got to buy the bits separate. It's like on my older Dreadnought, I had like choices of las cannons, flamers, minigun, rocket launchers, power fist. But with the new one, it was just minigun and power fist. That's the only choices you had. Which is the only ones you could put on the model. Which that was a bit annoying to me. It should have come with the extras, as they've always have done.
So, do you see the edge highlight that I just put in there?
Oh, wait a minute. Where? What? Oh, right, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't know there was an update. Ooh.
Yeah, that's an update. So that is the beginning of the edge highlight that I put in. So along the entire back of the head of the actual wolf, I put down a layer of gray.
Yeah.
And then up towards the top, where the highlight's going to be the strongest, I put a little bit of white. I'm probably going to tone down that gray a little bit, just so that it's just a little bit more of a little bit less of the gray.
Yeah. What's up?
But I just tried to put in some more on the front of the head.
So for edge highlighting for me, it's like I used to just slap just use the edge of a brush just to do it.
That's basically what you're supposed to do.
A thin line. But I've come to notice that if I just use a very watered down color and keep on applying the layers, so it brightens the color as it goes along, I get a better edge highlight in some respects, or a more graded edge highlight. It takes a lot longer, and I think you probably need a little bit more precision. But
which is actually, yeah. So like that's basically what you're the edge highlight where you use that thin line. That's the start. That's where you're blocking in your colors, and then you follow it up with that layering of the glazes to transition it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to send you another one. Yeah, let me get a better angle here. There we go. There. Boom.
Yeah.
There it is. So you can see on the brow and on the nose, I added in the gray, but then it's just a little dot of the white or the off-white.
Yeah.
That's basically just blocking in the colors. My problem is I need practice with the glazing, which is what I'm going to give a shot next of doing.
Yeah, so I'll probably go around the long way. I just basically get the most bare. Say if I was to do this, I would probably get a very the grey, darken it down but water it out, so it was barely different from the actual color you're putting on, and just keep on adding a layer, so the color brightens up every single layer, so eventually it gets a little bit brighter, then you can move on to the next one. But that would be the way I would do it if I was really paying attention, and I haven't done that yet on a miniature yet, but I probably will do that with my Dark Imperium kit. I actually spend some time on each model, actually adding those.
Yeah, that's why I got the start collecting box, because it gave me quite a bit of models to play with. So let's see here.
Let me see if
no, that's still too much pigment.
This is where I'm getting this from. Can I show the box? It doesn't have any good pictures of it. I'm buying mine from a
there we go.
Slightly cheaper than the Games Workshop version, but they do next day delivery, so it technically is a little bit dearer. Dark Imperium on the web store. Yeah, this is what I'm hoping to get, if people can see it.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
I've seen those. I almost got one, but I decided to start differently. I think the next chapter, the actual full chapter that I get, is probably going to be the Dark Angels, because they use so much cloth.
Yeah. So when it comes to cloth, it's like I think I've got about right. What do I use now? I think there's a certain way I do it now, which I find gives a better sort of look to it. Where the hell did that let it go? No, that's not the one. Sorry, digging through my box of paints again. No, let's scroll away. Where did it go? Give me 1 moment, I just have to dig through the box to find out where the hell I put it. I'm looking for it. 1 moment. place. Where did it go? I was only using it the other day. I can't even remember.
Can't find it, huh?
Yeah, it's fucking the one I was using and fucking gone and lost it. What the hell? I'll say it's hard to figure out what paints. Ah, there we go. I use Rakath Flesh as the base, which is how can I explain it? It's kind of well, it's a sort of fleshy white more than anything else. So it's a little bit pinker than white, a little grayer and pinker than white. I put that down, and then I dry brushed white over it, or mummy robes from Army Painter, which gives that really nice sort of off-white, sort of old, sort of looking cloth look. You know, so you get the edge highlights in, you get the raised highlights on there as well, but in the recesses you got the darker sort of Rakath shade, and it does come up quite nicely. I use that on my my St. Catherine one for the banners and the cloth where I used it, and it did come out quite nicely. Because if you just use plain white, it just looks boring and completely uninteresting. If you try and add a little bit of a blue or a grey in there, it just doesn't. It looks too pristine. So
I get what you mean.
Yeah. So if I use the sort of these sort of shades to give it a little bit more age to it, because you'd expect, like if you bring white into a battle, it's not going to remain white for any length of time.
Certainly not.
Yeah, it will start to get grey. It will start to get sort of brown and muddy. So, yeah, that's the sort of like look I was looking for. Sort of like, kind of like parchment near enough. That sort of look or shade. Sort of. Actually, is it parchment? It's hard to explain without showing it. Actually, let's see if I can take a picture and show it on the street. I just need to whip out my model. Turn on my camera light. We plug the fucker in. It is plugged in. I'm just a dumbass. There you go. Let's see if I can actually take a picture of this without it fucking up. Unfortunately, my light's far away, and my other lights are crap as well. Okay. Let's see if I can take a picture of this. Yeah, that's not going to look good. Well, I'm going to have to bring in my camera light a bit closer. There you go, much better.
All right, I am done with that. So let me check another update. Damn it. All right.
Yeah. God, even my iPhone, it just doesn't want to make anything fucking bright. Makes everything too yellow or orange.
Yeah.
I hate iPhones. I really need to get one with a decent camera at some point.
Yeah, I don't like iPhones. But if you take a look, I just sent you another picture.
Oh, okay, let me bring it up again. Messages. Oh, yeah.
So you can, if you look at them, you can see the difference.
Yeah, that's closer to what I was thinking. But I would have, my way would have been a lot longer and different.
Which is why I like to put in the block colors. Yeah. And this is actually probably the most successful I've been with doing that. Yeah. So now I just need to finish cleaning up that edging on the panels themselves. Like the trim. Yeah. So that I'm going to use a darker yellow as a bit of a. It's more like a wash than a glaze, so that it actually sits in that trough.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that scroll work there.
Yeah, that's as good as my scroll work gets. It's just little.
That's probably as good as most people's scroll work gets, man.
I wanted to do much better, but I just said no. Enough's enough.
So what I heard is when you're doing the best way to do scroll work, from what I've heard and what I've actually watched demonstrated. I can't remember who showed me. Is you take black ink, a liner brush, and a thinner, or no, not a thinner, but just a straight medium, and you mix the ink and the medium like 1-to-1 or 2-to-1, something along that lines, and then you use that, just the very, very tip of that liner brush.
Yeah.
And then you go in that way.
Yeah, I was gonna use an actual dip pen nib for it, but I just I gave up. I just thought, no, fuck it, I just want this done now. So it took ages to fucking paint it. It just took forever, and I just said, no, enough's enough. I want it finished now. What was the chat saying? 40k has gone to shit. All the new miniatures and rules now look like they've been designed by a 12-year-old with Asperger's who has been fed a pound of sugar. Well, I can't really say much about that. Yeah, in some respects, yeah. But the rules I don't know much about, because I've never played. I've only played the game once in my lifetime. Yeah, and that was my old. What was it? Yeah, it was my old Elder Force against Chaos, and I got pwned royally. You know, never again after that. I think the first game the first game I technically ever played, but it's technically not by Games Workshop. I don't think it was Space Crusade. The first time I ever saw Space Marines. Let me see if I can bring it up, because it's an old game. Space Crusade. There we go. I think it was actually, it was done by Games Workshop, but I don't know if it was wasn't the same company. Yeah, it was done by MB Games. It wasn't actually Games Workshop didn't actually have their stuff all over it at the time, and yeah, this was the first time that I ever saw Space Marines or Gene Stealers, or technically Necrons, but they weren't called Necrons at that time, and they look completely different to what they are now. Yeah, and the original model kits were actually, let's see if I can bring up a good picture of that, if people can see it in the chat. Sorry about this is pretty shitty images, but these were the figures, and I actually still own a couple of these, especially the Chaos ones. And yeah, they were the worst models or toys you could ever fucking get. Yeah, they were just, compared to what we have today, they were nasty. But their dreadnoughts that they had, or the robots they had in it, were actually pretty cool. They kind of look like fucking futuristic, well, more futuristic and evil looking versions of Ed 209.
Those actually look pretty good.
Yeah, back in the day, it was like I had a few of them. A friend of mine actually owned the game, and I attempted to paint them with literally zero skill. But back then it was like we were. I was so impressed with my paint skills, and so was he. Considering it was like zero paint skills. Yeah, but yeah, this was the old stuff. People are actually using modern day painting techniques on these old models now, and they actually look pretty good. But yeah, this is the sort of kit you got. This was the entirety of it. Back in the day. Yeah, it's the first thing that got me into this hobby.
Yeah, well, they were still doing pressed plastic at that time, weren't they?
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is all injection molded. Actually, I don't know if it was pressed. Yeah, I don't know if this is injection molded or if it was pressed. To be honest, no, I can't remember now. It's been so long ago. Yeah, but also it was the first time they had gene stealers, like the old classic look gene stealers, which I still think are the best looking ones. The forearms, looking a bit nasty. I think I don't have any of them at the moment because I think I broke them all. Let me see if I can bring them up. Gene stealers. Yeah, the old school looking gene stealers. And this was kind of the inspiration for my my Hive Tyrant, but a bit more purple looking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if I remember, there was two variants. One with like more these spiny things along the back of it, and one with the sort of weird flesh shit going on. What the hell are you doing, Globy, you weirdo? But yeah, this was my first introduction into the hobby. Then I think on from that, it was just blister packs of single figures. And then I think the next one I bought was a tactical squad, the Space Marines. Then I got into Elder in a big way, then Orcs, then Tau. Next ones for a bit, but my go-to is always Orcs because I can make them look funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always a good thing when you can get an Orc to give the finger to anyone. Yeah. So every time I've made Orcs, I've always done one that's swearing. Or doing something stupid.
Doing something stupid is very orc-like.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's
all right.
You can't have Orcs without the stupid.
Hope this works, because if it doesn't, it'll have ruined everything I just did. So I just made a wash of a darker brown or yellow to try and shade the panels. It's like between the black trim and the yellow field. We're going to find out if that worked or not. Because I used the glaze medium and water to try to do that. I might have to do this a couple of times to get the effect I'm looking for. But let's see how that looks. There's Globy, bored out of his mind.
Yeah. Sorry, dude.
You could always just, start asking questions.
Hey, when are we going to stop talking about paint?
Never. It's always about paint. Yeah.
I mean, you can ask questions to bring us off of the paint if you've got a question to ask.
Okay. Shall we talk about something else?
Go for it.
Put paint pots away.
Yeah, paint pots have well and truly been put away.
I will not talk about the paint so much, but the paint pots aren't going away.
Yeah.
Okay, you start.
So, who has cats?
Not I.
If I see a cat, of emotions. If it's in my garden, probably looking for a place to crap, I want to pick up stones. If I go into a housey one, I develop symptomatic cat hair allergies. I don't have them really. I just say I have. Because I'm very anti-social when it comes to cats. Dogs, I can stomach dogs a lot better.
Well, template for my chapter is shit. I'm gonna have to find another one. I do apologise. No template today. And actually, I'll probably have to finish off the stream soon as it goes. But yeah, it's brilliant for people showing up. Thank you if Toy is still in there. Thank you, Joe. What's in Mighty Joe? Yeah. Hopefully next time I might be able to get more people in. I don't know what my next stream will be. I think it will just be chatting and playing games and mucking about.
Didn't realize we've been going for like 2 hours.
Oh yeah, time flies when you're talking paint.
True indeed.
Yeah. But yeah, when it comes to my chapter, I do actually want to write up a proper lore and timeline. But as I said, I need to look into the established lore for certain events just to make sure that I'm not tripping myself up or doing something that's completely beyond the realms of possibility. Which is not exactly difficult when it comes to Games Workshop, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I want to keep it within the realms of possibility. Yeah, just so I'm not like completely and utterly messing it up.
So does this get like logged officially somewhere?
Oh no, it's for my own interest more than anything else. Yeah, as I said earlier, other people can use it for their chapters if they want to copy the chapter I'm doing. But
well, also, like it's good to actually have that kind of stuff around, just in case you do decide to use it in a game. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who are big sticklers for that. If you're going to have a homegrown chapter and use it, it's got to actually work.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to actually fit in the lore somehow, not step on the toes of anything somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like if I ever feel the need to play a game at Games Workshop with this, these Marines, then yeah, they'll probably need to know certain things. You know, because it could be completely groundbreaking or too OP or many other things.
Or, not fit within the lore that they ascribe to.
Yeah, exactly. Or bring in rules that they don't have a rule for. As in, with psychic blanks, they have really no rules because no chapter ever has psychic blanks. It's just unheard
Yeah, that's
of.
just psychic blanks are usually reserved for
Colexus Assassins.
The Sisters of Silence, the Assassinarums, and those Titans, some kind of Titan.
Yeah, there's the
Psi Titans.
Yeah.
So, and blanks are so freaking rare as it is that they basically can't do anything else.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm giving them a bit of extra lore, a little extra love because they haven't been taken care of in 40k lore. I'm thinking, and so I've got a lot more thinking to do about it before I put pen to paper, and it will literally be pen to paper. I don't like typing stuff out. I'd rather just sit down with a lined book and just fucking write out what I'm doing. I still think that my handwriting's actually pretty good, so yeah, we definitely written out lore.
Mine's crap. Mine's akin to a doctor's handwriting.
That's the best handwriting to have. That way nobody can actually say you said something that you did or didn't. It's like, man, you don't know what I wrote. I don't know what I wrote.
Yeah, that's the lawyer's code, mate. When you write something down, make sure that no fucker understands it but you.
Yeah, my handwriting goes from scrawl to incredibly neat.
You said squirrel or did you say scroll?
Scroll.
Scroll, like as in them shape changes.
No.
No, not them kind of scrolls.
And now I am shading a pauldron.
I got really upset the other day. I watched one of these live charity streams of old D&D.
Oh yeah.
And I used to play it really. I mean, it used to be the craze when I was a young man, very young man. And my character was a cleric. And one of the guys on there was playing a cleric, but his weapons that he used a big double-edged axe. So I wrote like nearly half a page on YouTube saying that there's no way that that guy could be a cleric.
Yeah, clerics were spellcasters, if I remember correctly, aren't
Well,
they?
they basically forbade them from using anything with a sharp point or a bladed edge. Their main weapons were clubs or spells, as you would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have a shield, they could have a club or a mace. That's about it. Stabs.
But this guy's got a big double-edged, like, dwarven axe. I'm thinking, you just can't do it.
I think with the more modern sort of D&D, everything, it's basically a free-for-all. You make up whatever you want and look at the rules whenever you feel like it, sort of thing, when there's a particularly knotty situation. But it's one of the games I've never played and never intend to play.
Well,
it really depends on the DM. It's like the DM is the one who actually has control over whether something's okay or not, and if they say it's okay, yeah, it's okay. But if it's not, well, it's not.
I think the closest I've been to playing D&D was reading one of those books where it gives you multiple choices to go to a certain page.
Create your own adventure.
Yeah.
Choose your own adventure books. Steve Jackson, Ian Livingstone did the best.
Yeah, that's probably the closest I've ever got to D&D. Yeah.
They were out when I was at school, and I was at school in '84.
Yeah, I remember having a couple of sci-fi ones, but I can't remember the titles or who did them. Yeah.
You were even an itch in your dad's nutsack then.
No, I was 2 years old at that time.
In '84?
Yeah.
Were you born in '82?
Yep. For my sins.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm a child of 82.
82. Year of the Spanish World Cup in Spain. You'd have been 4 years old when Maradona handballed the goal, beat in Mexico. All these football references that you just don't fucking get whatsoever.
I can't even remember half the shit that was on telly at the time. It's like I remember something to do with the Falklands, but I don't know if that was something like years later. Like I know it ended in '82, but
we were at war with Argentina or the Falklands, yeah.
Yeah, so what's it?
In '82.
But it kind of ended in '82. But I swear I heard stuff about it later on in like a few like when I was older, but I can't remember what it was in. What the context was at the time, because I really wasn't paying attention.
When I've had too much to drink, I sometimes reminisce about my days in Vietnam when I wasn't born.
No, as in like the news on the telly. Not actually being in the Falkland War. Yeah,
I could recall every detail.
Yeah,
apparently, where I got it from, I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe I'm regressing to a past life.
Oh, blimey! Ugh.
Could have been Pol Pot.
I remember fucking John Major and fucking Thatcher being on telly at some point or another.
Cool.
Yeah, fucking hell. Thatcher used to fucking scare the bejesus out of me when I was a fucking kid. Yeah.
She was a walking ghoul. They were good times. Best decade for music.
Yeah. Can't remember any of it though.
Because it had a mixture of cheesy music, rock music, pop music. It was a transgression decade of multiple styles.
Yeah, so I remember other stuff, but I fucking what's it? I can't remember context. You know, something happening and fucking so much shit going on until he wasn't even paying attention. You know. But yeah, towards the 90s, my dad didn't have a TV license because he couldn't afford to pay for one. So therefore, you know, I missed out on a lot of telly.
Oh, yeah. She just everybody else did.
Yeah, my dad was too worried about the fucking detector vans. You know, he really thought that they were a thing.
You should just watch telly outside in your back garden.
Right. I still remember watching coming down early in the morning and watching fucking like Saturday fucking morning cartoons and shit. Captain Planet, fucking hell.
Yeah.
And Samurai Pizza Cat.
I don't think I ever watched that.
Oh, you gotta watch it, mate. It's like, yeah, if there's one thing you gotta do in life is watch Samurai Pizza Cat.
Well, me, it was the old Spider-Man cartoons when there was Iceman and Firestar.
The first time I watched Spider-Man was it the Fox? Was it Fox who did a cartoon for it? So I know they did. Fox did X-Men cartoon, and that's why the first time I watched it. But didn't Fox do Spider-Man as well?
Marvel as a company, basically, how can I put it? They have sex with many other companies. They sold the rights to a lot of the little major companies and some minor companies, and that's why Marvel now, when they started making these new movies, couldn't do Spider-Man for a while because Sony had the rights to them.
Oh yeah, it was the Spider-Man animated series that ran on Fox Kids Network.
Yeah, I don't know if it was actually made by Fox though.
No. It just ran on their network, I think.
The old X-Men series was good, classic X-Men.
Mm.
But nowadays they just totally fuck about with the law of the comic.
Well, yeah, they you know, the movies have pretty much fucked up some of the law on that. Yeah.
I take offense because when I grew up, I grew up with comics and I bought fucking shed loads of them, and only to grow up and see these characters put into film and the stories and the origins played about with so much. I mean, both DC and Marvel have basically reinvented themselves at least 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
DC a bit behind Marvel now, I would say, but even some of the older sort of more obscure comics like Dark Horse, when you had Spawn comics and.
I remember Spawn on the HBO channel.
Yeah, Spawn was such a good character.
See, I wasn't a big when I was a kid. I didn't grow up on Marvel or DC or anything like that. I grew up on 2000 AD.
I thought you were going to
Judge Dredd. Yeah, fucking Judge Dredd and fucking what was it?
I did read 2000 AD as well.
Yeah, that was my favourite stuff. It's like, you know, AD 2000 or 2000 AD. Sorry. Oh, what was it? Rogue Trooper? Yeah, fucking.
Yeah, there's actually a game, Rogue Trooper game. It isn't that bad.
I played it. I fucking couldn't stand it. But
what item did he carry that you talked to?
Pardon? Oh yeah. Fucking oh yeah, man. Fucking back in the day. I think they remastered it, didn't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember like Judge Death, and I remember the game they brought out for Judge Dredd versus Death. My God, that was a terrible game.
Yeah. So that's Super Nintendo.
No, it was PC as well. I don't know. No, I don't think it was Super Nintendo. It was a 3D game. It was PC. Shoot 'em up.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if I can bring it up. Judge Dredd versus Death. PC. Let's see. Yeah, if I can bring it up on the screen. It wasn't great, but at least they had the feel of, well, the look, kind of the look in some respects to the old comics.
Right, yeah, I get you.
Let me see. Yeah, so yeah, it was Judge Dredd versus Death.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I can't remember much beyond a certain point. I think it was going across this big ass bridge to a prison, and my game kept on crashing at the time. So I gave up on the thing. I might actually have to re-download it and see if I can play it again. Yeah, some good old nostalgia.
When was this? I can't remember when the game came out.
1 second, I'll find out. That came out 2003.
Oh, you should be able to play it without booting up DOS or anything.
Yeah.
If not, I've got a laptop with XP if anything fucks up. So yeah, good old days. Yeah. But then again, talking about old games, I want to try and play the old Syndicate Wars. You know, back in the days, I used to love that game.
I started playing Deus Ex.
Yeah.
Not long ago. I mean, it's the 2013 one. 2012.
So it's Mankind Divided and
Is the
Human
more
Revolution.
recent one. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started playing that one and I got through 3 levels. Non-lethal. No discovery. And that was like, I think the week before last that I did that, and I don't think I've gone back to it.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't do stealth in games. No.
I don't do stealth. He's too busy falling down holes.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm either going rushing in with all guns blazing, or I'm falling down a hole. So yeah, either way, stealth is not an option for me.
And we say, "Don't go down," and he's already. By the time I said that, he's already gone down.
Yeah. Before you said the first, what's it word of that fucking sentence? It's like, yes.
Yeah, that's it. And then he ends up getting crawling back to me, wanting me to survive.
So I usually do that too. If I'm given the option between stealth and going in and just blasting everyone, I generally try to just blast everyone first.
Oh hell yeah!
But I've been using the stealth just as a challenge to give me something to do. Because I was just, locked down, can't leave the house, I'm bored as shit.
Actually, there's another 2 games I've technically got to finish off at some point or another. Back in the day, a game called Sin in 1998. One of my favourite all-time shoot 'em ups, that was. Fuck knows why. But
it did use, as it shows you there, it did use Quake 2 engine, which was pretty good at the time.
But yeah, they brought out what's it? What was it? Sin Emergence Episode 1. They never fucking made an Episode 2, and I don't know what the fuck happened with all of that. The only thing I remember of that game is the fucking cutscene at the beginning with the woman with the big boobies, and that's about it.
If you want big boobies, you want Fact 2. From, you remember that film, Heavy Metal?
Oh yes, and I remember playing
the game.
That movie. And I remember playing the game as well.
Fact 2 with what they call her. She's got massive tits, and you end up seeing most of it when you play them.
Let's see, what was the game called? Yeah, it was Heavy Metal Fact 2 on PC. One of the most jankiest looking games I've ever played, but I never completed it just because I couldn't be fucked.
Mate, that's what you're in it for. Look at the memories.
She didn't quite have so much memories back in the day. It was more like triangles. It was very much Tomb Raider-esque. Yeah.
Oh, that's not a bad picture. Look at that.
Yeah, that was one of the costumes.
It's just about the concept.
But that's your character. Well, that was the sort of character you would normally have in it. It's like a blue costume. I don't remember ever getting that weird sort of thong, sort of wedgie costume. Yeah.
I'm starting a Kickstarter for him so I can get him a VR headset so he can play with these Japanese anime boobies.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
No, they make mouse pads for those.
Yeah, the jiggly booby the jiggly booby hand rests. It's all good. Yeah.
I think the second version is. I mean, it depends on how far you want to push. I'm not going to say perversion because I don't think it's perverted for a man to be sexually attracted to a woman, or anybody actually. Really, is it? So I think
Natural.
The second one, mate, you can also manipulate other body parts as well. While you're supposed to be there as a companion to her, but it just happens they put the jiggly boob mechanic in, so it's obvious what they wanted you to really do. But on the second one, you can grab a thong and sort of snap it back towards the butt crack. You'll want it, I know you. So.
Yeah, definitely want all that. Yeah, I'm still waiting for that fucking GoFundMe for the Robo Waifu. I ain't gonna come anytime soon.
The only thing I'm worried about you is in VR is if we play together in VR, when you fall down a hole in VR, mate, you really feel like you're falling down one.
The only time I've ever been sick in any kind of VR environment was when I went to Sega World in Trocadero in Leicester Square. And they had like a VR gun game, and I chucked up all over their fucking equipment. Yeah.
You have got a choice of movement styles. Normally, and you do get free movement, so you can sort of move the thumbstick, and you can walk around as you would do normally. But you can also do the teleport one for certain games. So you point and click where you want to go to, and just teleport to it. And the turn isn't not always a smooth turn. You go around in sort of 90-degree angle.
For everybody in the chat, this is one of the things that I have to buy.
Oh yeah,
Gazgul Mad Uruk Fraka. Oh, I've got the original, the old metal version of him. Fucking beast of a fucking model. That's why if you fucking chuck that at somebody's head, you'd knock them out. Yeah, this is all plastic, but yeah, the one I have is incredibly heavy. I'm gonna have to weigh that thing to see if I can actually use it as a weapon. Yeah, but yeah, this big bad orc is definitely something I've got to buy in the future. But I'm not paying fucking 113 quid just for the fucking set. Fuck that. When he becomes a standalone figure, maybe, but yeah, I ain't paying for that shit at the moment.
I mean, I might end up paying that just to get the set, just that I have green skins to paint.
It's not worth it. It's just not worth it yet. It's like with Dark Imperium, you've got a good amount of figures there for your money. So basically, if you break it down and actually get break it into kits, it's actually worth the money. But if you add up what you get with what is the box set called? Oh fucking hell! I cannot remember the fucking name of this shit. So I know they don't do the figures independently at the moment. What's it called? Where is it? 40,000. Available to order. No. Pre-orders. No. What am I doing? Pre-orders. No. Pre-orders. Okay, so they've got all the new Skitari shit coming out. This is good. Okay, box sets. Battle box. Is it battle boxes? Yeah, battle boxes. Prophecy of the Wolf. Yeah, if you look at what you're getting, So 105 quid. So basically you're getting a group of boys, which you can get for like 20-30 quid. You're getting a squad of thing for the same amount of money, and you're getting two freaking heavy ones that are, it just doesn't feel, it's just not enough. There's not enough there for me to warrant that price tag. 105 quid, it's not enough. Just nowhere near enough. It needs more. You need another 10 figures in that fucking kit to be worth that kind of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think the actual Titans themselves are worth that much money by themselves.
I think a normal Titan is, well, I know the Canis Rex was about £90 for me.
It's about 113, 125, somewhere around there.
Let's have a look. Imperial Knights. Let's have a look. For Canis Rex, it's 95. A Knight Valiant, which I do want to get my hands on at some point. I might start a GoFundMe for one of those. It's about 100. Imperial Knight Warden is about 95, so there's no difference between Canis Rex and a normal Imperial Knight. Next page, let's have a look. Yeah, 95 for all their knights, so yeah, doesn't really a point. But at least then you're getting a really big kit, yeah, and it does feel like it's kind of, it feels like it's worth the money because you're getting a lot of extras with it. But
yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with how much actual customization you could get with the Canis Rex.
Yeah, this is why I don't like the new snap fit stuff, because you don't have the choice anymore. You go with what they give you and that's it. Yeah, but yeah.
Have you seen the latest amendment to our law? Apparently, from tomorrow, it will be illegal to have sex with someone outside your household.
What?
Yeah, you just do what to the what now?
Yeah, you can. The loophole is you can hire unless it's to do with work, or so there are some other mitigating circumstances. So you could hire an escort and have sex with her or him, because that's their work, that's their job, right? Or you could go outside and have sex. Obviously, you've still got to observe public decency laws. You can't sort of like go down the street giving your other half one, you know.
So when you said outside your household, I wasn't thinking like outside of your house. I was thinking outside of your family. I was like, what the hell?
The household itself. Well, it does mean that it means whoever lives in that house. Anyone outside of it, anybody else who doesn't live in that house. Not your entire family lineage that's alive. These are our laws, and I have to pass these every week, just in case somebody around where I live, because I live in a very scenic place anyway, but if someone gets arrested, I need to know all these stupid things that the government keeps changing.
Well, yeah. Laws are getting stupider. I must admit.
So your weekly midget escort will have to be outside in the park, mate.
I can do that.
Yeah, never accuse Triax there of being a prude.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm not a prude, I know that much.
I've done it in some weird fucking places. I'm alright with that.
He doesn't believe in towels. When he washes his plums, he hangs them out a window. Everybody's seen Trax's plums.
Actually, talking about Dark Angels, I actually got one of these. I really need to repaint it at some point.
I can't see it.
Samael, the first flying jet bike they did for the Space Marines.
Yeah, and all I'm looking at is your template JPEG.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Yeah, you're off the ball, mate.
There you go. Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I can see you lot coming, can't they, with these prices?
Oh, it was a lot cheaper back when I first bought it. Now this is like doubled the price. I bought mine when it was 15 quid.
At least in the old days, in the air quotes lead figures, you could buy a pack of 5 for £1.
It's like just seeing the amounts this shit has gone up by. So if I was going with actually some of the starter box, it's actually not too bad. For the orcs, actually if they got an individual selection for that, start collecting. There you go. For the orcs, which is say where are they? There's the fragging orcs. Yeah, orcs. That's about right. You actually got a bit more than that in the original sort of orcs box set. So about 55. It's a decent enough price for this. Which is brilliant. Which is pretty good. Whereas if you compare it to, say, the Eldar, you used to get, I think, about 12. What was it? 12 Guardians, 3 jet bikes, and a Falcon Grav tank. All you get now is that. And what's it? It used to be about the same price.
Jeez.
So basically, you're getting fuck all, a hell of a lot less. So, and with Space Marines, it used to be the same sort of thing. You used to have Space Marine, about 12 Space Marines, a tank, but you also get jet bikes with bikes with it as well. So that's
all right. I will be right back.
I'm assuming they have card games for this as well. I'm assuming they have a card game for this.
I don't believe they have.
Well,
I've never seen one. Oh, the closest they had was a Tops game. Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
Warhammer combat cards. That's the actual game on your app on your phone.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, they had a Tops one. Basically the little card game you had. You had like a whole bunch of characters. They all had stats, and you had to beat the other person's stat.
Top trumps, you mean?
Oh, top trumps. There you go. Top trumps.
This kind of the same. There's one you can get on your on Google Play, and it's the 40k edition combat cards. Looking at some of the pictures, they've got some characters like Gubbins, Typhus, Gooser, Abaddon. Abaddon the Despoiler, sorry. Gazgul Thraka is on it.
Yep.
Captain Nakran? Nakran?
No idea on that one.
Marneus Calgar.
Yeah.
Chapter Master of the Ultramarines.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that they actually had a card game. They always have something. Hell, if Games Workshop can capitalize on something, they will.
Just
Yep. It's like they've got all these video game card game things going on right now.
It's
like
Tantus. He's quite colourful. You ought to get that model.
Which one?
Epistolary Tantus. Oh, where's the ultramarine? Hang on, let me just maximize that. Ultramarines Primaris Librarian.
What more?
That looks like if you could get it looks like it's a photograph of a model. Model of him.
Tigerius.
No, Tantus.
There was one I'm showing is one librarian they had, but I don't know if it's the same one.
Sort of blue with sort of like yellow tubes that go under his arms.
Could be an older model. They've discontinued quite a bit from back in the day. Would it be this guy?
Yeah, looks a bit like that, yeah.
Yeah. They've just added a name to him, but yeah.
He's not got a staff.
Okay.
And he's got that's just
Primus or Librarian. Is it this guy?
Primaris. Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the same pose as well, so I knew it was a model. He's a little short sword. I'd like to see you paint one of them. Because there's hardly any at all, any black or red on it. Well,
I don't do Smurfs.
Apart from the sashes. These Smurfs, not Smurf.
That's what the Ultramarines are known as, Smurfs, because they're blue.
Alright.
Tau as well.
What a thought got into that one.
No, they're the intergalactic weebs.
Oh. Okay. Oh, I've heard the Tau called blueberries. I've heard the Ultramarines be called boy blues.
Right. The model I need to get next is that.
Oh, that Gene Stealer Patriarch looks quite mean. Looks like
maybe I need to get this next.
Who's that? Oh, that's what they call him from Spawn.
The Great Unclean One, or Papa Nurgle. Spreader of COVID-19 and other diseases. SE's Grodiness in 360.
I am currently painting a freaking head.
Oh, yeah.
That's flesh.
Oh, no, thank you.
It's actually not going too bad.
Let's see, if I had to buy Nurgle for my Death Guard, I'd have to do him with little dangleberries coming out of his backside.
Heh!
Yeah, just for the extra grodiness.
Herald of the Plague God. Typhus. He's got a massive scythe.
Yeah, I've got one of the one of the models for the box set that I want, which is the Dark Imperium. Box sets. What is it? Okay, maybe not. Battle boxes. Dark Imperium. I don't even know if that is one of the ones you get. I don't believe it's Typhus, because he doesn't have a scythe, but he's very close. Which is come on. Get rid of all the Smurfs. I don't care about Smurfs. I want a fucking Death Guard.
You just passed him.
That Abaddon the Despoiler model looks quite mean.
Yeah, I used to have the original back in the day, but I got rid of him.
He's got mostly black, red, and silver.
Mm-hmm. Ah, well. I don't think this is typhus, though.
No, that's not Typhus. Typhus has a different weapon, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a scythe. Death God.
Herald of the Plague God.
Yeah. Definitely a good one. I'm going to be modifying the one that comes in the box to actually have a scythe rather than that sort of mechanical buzzsaw thing. But we try to use a tyrannid bone sword for the scythe, so it looks good. Or Beast of Nurgle, tentacly. I can name him Squidgy. Actually, what other ones do I have for that? Not much else. Oh, Mortarion. I'd definitely like to have a crack at.
He comes in the start collecting box.
No, not the.
Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, not Mortarion. Is like Primark. They ain't ever gonna sell him as a start collecting model. Not at £90 a pop. Yeah, would be nice though. Yeah, but those wings would definitely be a fun thing to try and paint. But yeah, not that sort of price. I'd have to sell a kidney or two.
I want to see what these things are in this 40k app. See, yep. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm mad on 40k. I do like art. I do like fantasy. I don't sit here and discuss paint for 3 hours.
Well, they do have Warhammer 40. Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which is the more sort of fantasy-looking stuff.
I do appreciate the art of it. I used to draw shit like that.
So back in the day, the best place to get the art of these things was the White Dwarf magazine.
Yeah, don't they? Are those still in published? I can't remember.
Yeah, they're still being published. Probably tripled in price by now, but yeah, still being published. There's like some of the stuff that I really want to buy. Oh, let me have a Forge World stuff. Oh, if you, I'll make your heart stop with some of the prices here. Okay, let's have a look. So, let's have a look for Armies of the Imperium. Let's say just go with. Oh, they don't have anything for the Ultramarines. I am slightly surprised. I'll just put Space Marines. Yeah.
Yeah, every Space Marine in box is Ultramarines, man. Didn't you know?
Yeah, pretty much. Smurf in waiting. Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, the kits on the Forge World. Oof. Mega oof.
Yeah, but just about everything on Forge World is oof.
Yeah, I like looking at it just to give myself a little bit of a heart attack.
That's a nice model, that nice tank.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you a lot of these things will be extremely expensive. And
God damn, that looks pretty damn good.
What, your
Sorry, just admiring my own handiwork here.
Oh no, fair enough. Where's the flyers? Okay, there you go. £116 for that. And they've only upped the price of it since they brought it out on Forge World years ago. I think they've probably done a bit of redesign, but my current Wraith Fighter is probably about a little bit bigger than this, and it only costs £30.
Okay.
That
looks like it would be fun to paint.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of your own details to make it be worthwhile, though.
That's why it would be fun to paint.
Yeah. It's like
See, I'm a painter. That's what I do.
Mm.
That's my favorite part of this whole thing.
Now, if there's one kit I would love to get my hands on at some point in the future, if I become a billionaire, is the original Thunderhawk gunship.
Oof. Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. The full metal Thunderhawk. That thing is probably worth fucking hundreds of thousands by now. Yeah. It's crazy how much that's fucking worth and how rare it is. I swear some people have more money than sense when buying this sort of shit.
Yeah, just having Titans. That alone tells you that some people have more money than sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like a Warlord Titan costs what, $2,000? No, not a Warlord. Warhound.
Oh, that's
That's the smallest Titan actual Titan you can get.
Wait. Titans. Say Imperium. Warhound Titan builder. Oh fucking hell! It's a builder. Oh shit. Okay. Mars pattern Titan body. That's £340 right there. For a Vulcan Mega Bolter arm, you're looking at £45 in credit. What's it? Yeah, £45 for each arm if you want to try and chase it around. Oh jeez, that is just crazy. 400 well, for a, what's it? I don't know. It depends on how big this is, but I would assume this is the same size as the Imperial Knight. Yeah, 400.
No, it's bigger. It's bigger.
See, there's no. This is the thing with Forge World. They don't give you a sort of size comparison.
No, I've seen them at was it Adepticon?
Yeah,
they're bigger.
I've seen some big ones, but I didn't know if they were kit bashed or not. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me one little bit when it comes to fucking Games Workshop. And it's like, regardless of what people say, yeah, fucking Forge World is Games Workshop. You know, there's very little distinction there. Let's have a look, see if they actually sell the big ones. So a friend of mine used to buy tons of Forge World stuff, and I looked at their stuff and I just think it is never worth the money. The molding is absolutely garbage on half their stuff. Yeah, because I think they use resin for some of their.
They use resin for most of their stuff, I think.
Worst material to use. You know. But I would assume they use silicon molds or something like that. Something that's actually no, they won't. Well, yeah, because it'll be limited runs, I would assume. But then again, yeah, actually no, they probably would have used normal ones, but yeah, still use resin. But it's the worst. It's the worst material to cast with. You know.
Yeah.
Because you can never get a perfect result every single time. You know, because just bubbles forming in the resin and shit. It's like fucking nigh on impossible to get rid of all of them. It's always best to go with fucking injection molded, because you're going to get a better result every single time. But they don't want to do that because they can make sure that they make it price higher, even though it actually doesn't cost that much to fucking do. You know. So I was actually talking, you know, like pretending to be a bumpkin to one of the Games Workshop staff, and it was just like, you know, the amount of fucking bullshit it was coming up with to say for the reason why they're so expensive. It's just like, you know, he's saying, oh, the designers need to be paid. It's like, bitch. The fucking designers got paid fucking like 20 years ago.
Yeah, don't give me that shit.
Yeah, and it's just
like
and I was talking about at the Avatar of Kane. I said, "Oh, it's gone through many redesigns," and I said, and there's like I looked over and I thought, no, it's exactly how it was 20 years ago. There's literally no fucking difference, and you've upped the price to it. You know, and I would assume that plastic would be a lot cheaper than the metals they were using. You know, by a long shot. But it's how Games Workshop operates. It's like, you know, money, 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 money. You know.
You might like this app, mate, because
What's that?
Just had my first battle against somebody called Guthrox the Foul. And
Nice.
he's just said to me, all will fall to rot and decay in time. It is futile to resist Nurgle's blessings.
Oh, wait, I don't hear anything. Oh, shit. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know why. Should be hearing something. Yeah, afraid you're the only one watching Doya. But now I've got to end the stream because it is getting late and I need to get to bed because I am knackered.
Alrighty.
And it's coming up on curfew time, so I don't want to fucking have the twat upstairs fucking banging on my ceiling like a cunt. But hopefully I'll be able to do this again at some point. Maybe another painting stream once I get my box set in later on this week.
Is it coming via Amazon?
No, it's I'm buying it from a company. God, what was it called? What was the company? I bought it from I'm buying it from a company because it has next day delivery. Can't remember the name of the fucking company now. No, it's not coming by Amazon because no one sells it on Amazon. Not on Prime anyway. I can't remember the name of this fucking company. Wait a minute, I'm gonna have to look it up in my email address, which I will not show on stream. Technically, everyone could probably figure it out by now, but you know, still.
This guy looks cool, mate. This one I've just seen here.
What is it called? The company is called Zatu Games.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I'll buy from them because they offer next day delivery for about $5. So, yeah.
Have you seen a model called Ibris Kale? It's a Drakari Reaver.
Oh, I haven't touched the Dark Eldar since they've renamed them.
That thing he's riding looks awesome. Spelt Y Briss Khael. Drakari Reaver. It's got like a black thing he's riding with greenish edges.
Archon, Talus Raider. Raider. I'll find him. Beastmaster, Succubus, Chlorine, Homunculus, Helions, Venom, Chronos, 2 unavailables. Oh, I do like that.
He's got, see that there? The Reavers, the things that they're riding.
Not these ones.
The ones that are sort of left hand side, yeah. They're like little bite things. He's got one of them, but it's like black with like green highlighting on edges.
It must be a kit bashed one that they. Is that on a card?
It's on a card, so it must be a model.
Yeah, it's not a named model that they have. It's probably something they just made for the card. They would have it here if it was on there, and they don't seem to have it. All they've got for Reavers is these bikes, so they've probably just changed around 1 or 2, or kit bash something.
Yeah. I do love this artwork. There's another one here that looks like one of them robots from 2000 AD. One of the PC robots.
Oh, You're talking about one of the Men of Iron, I would assume.
Implacable Vanguard.
Yeah. Or I want this. Oh, this
So-
looks nice. One of the Trakari fighter jets.
Oh yeah.
That looks nice. And can be turned into Eldar quite easily enough.
Aren't they basically the same thing with just a little bit shape, slightly different shape?
They have more pointy bits, but pretty much not. They're pretty much the same. So it was either that or the what was it called? It was that or the Razor Wing. That was the one I really wanted, but they didn't have them in stock at the time. But if you can actually get the whole detachment of airborne stuff. So you get so what do you get? So air detachment. So what do you get? You get 2 Razor Wing fighters and 1 Void Raven bomber. Nice.
All right. Last image I'm going to send you.
Let's bring up Twitter's notifications. Oh yeah, see, you've just blown me out of the water with your skills on this one, mate. Yeah, my skills are nowhere near that good.
So, if that's the case, I am definitely going to recommend that you find hang on, let me go ahead and actually pull that up. Vince Venturella, his YouTube channel. He actually does him and Squidmar. Their skins are amazing.
Yeah.
And what I just did is I basically followed Vince's techniques on how to do that. And let me pull him up.
Well, while you do that, I've got to end the stream. So yeah, oh my god, you're white. Yeah, we're all white here. Well, actually, we're not so much white. We're translucent. Yeah.
There you go.
We burn easily. Yeah.
Let's see here. Search pink flesh.
Oh, sorry, Toya. My got to sort out my audio at some point or another.
There it is.
Hopefully, I'll do that for my next stream and sort that out. Ooh, that's something I need to buy. Another bottle of Jack Daniel's apple.
I'm waiting on whiskey right now.
Oh,
Paste.
best whiskey.
There you go.
Oh, a moment there. Wait a minute. Oh.
So he probably gives the best tutorial on how to paint skin I've ever seen, but it only when it comes to blocking in the different colors. And then the rest of it is it's best to go to Squidmar because he actually explains the same thing but with different words. So it's easier to if you watch them both, you start to get a better understanding of how to do it.
I think the only sort of tutorials I've seen for skin is done by Professor Faust. But
I've watched a number of his stuff. I'm finding that I don't really like his tutorials very much.
Yeah, he doesn't really add a lot of details, but I can see what he's doing. That's how I normally learn better. So because of his stuff, I've actually become a lot better. But I do tend to, if I need to figure out how something is painted, I normally go with like more detailed tutorials now. But it's mostly, it's just like random at the moment. I don't have a go-to at the moment. But I actually something. What's it? One of Dr. Faust's models. I definitely got to buy one of those. He bought. He had one of the beholders from Dungeons and Dragons that I really would like to get my hands on. But there's.
I honestly don't like his dragons.
Yeah.
I've watched all of his dragon painting things, and the only one that even looked kind of nice was the red one, the same model that I got. But I didn't like it.
Mm.
And unfortunately, I also just really don't like the model itself that much.
Yeah.
It looks great when you're just looking at it and getting ready to buy it, but when it comes to you, when it came to me, both the wings were curled in very far.
What is that, Reaper Bones? So it's the
Yeah, WizKids.
oh yeah, it's a,
WizKids.
yeah, it's the
It's
same
very
type of
soft.
materials. Yeah,
It's the very soft PVC plastic stuff.
yeah. Fucking,
And I got the right wing to unfurl, but the left wing, it unfurled at first, but overnight, due to its own weight, it furled back up.
oh.
So I'm likely never going to finish that one
Mm.
because it's just not fun to paint.
The only time that I would ever buy a resin kit is if it's a figure of something, like an actual like an anime figure or something like that.
So resin itself isn't bad.
Mm.
It's like my dwarf bust is resin, but that one is Reaper Bones.
Yeah.
And they're not very good at reproducing the original.
No. Well, the thing is, it's like they reuse molds until they die.
Yeah,
much,
and
so.
unfortunately, this one's probably been used so many times. All of the edges that are supposed to be soft are really sharp, and all of the edges that are really supposed to be really sharp have turned out really soft.
Yeah. So they're probably using
I'm not very happy with the quality of the model itself.
Yeah, what they're probably doing is using a silicon mold, and then they're using an original figure to recast that resin mold, and then reuse that resin mold, well, the silicon mold again over and over again.
Yeah, but as far as resin itself goes, it's pretty hit or miss depending on the company.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's really just what the problem is.
With Reaper Bones and stuff like that, they mass produce using silicon molds. They don't use metal molds. Which,
yeah.
But that metal molds would cost a shit ton, and that's one reason why. For some of the reason why Games Workshop is so high is because they do use metal molds, and they do have to have the plant to make them as well. Because I think they make them in house, if I remember correctly, or they have their own company to make them.
Yeah. I like Games Workshop, but it's really hard to get a hold of their busts, which are what I want to paint.
Incredibly hard, yeah.
It's like I like the painting, you know. I don't really necessarily enjoy playing the game, but I do enjoy the painting aspect of it.
If I remember,
the problem is it's really hard to get the kind of things that I want to paint.
Yeah.
It's like I only got a Death Watch Start Collecting box because it was relatively inexpensive and it had a lot of different models to practice different techniques on and things like that.
Yeah. I think for stuff like busts and stuff, they don't really sell them as a regular thing. It's either Forge World or it's like stuff like Golden. They get sold at Golden Demon Awards as specials and stuff like that. So they're really hard to get a hold of. You know, but
there are other companies that specialize in busts, but they're all European.
Oh yeah.
So it's hard for me to get them over here. It's like I ordered one from, what's that one? Something Frog.
I don't know that one.
Something Frog. They make paintbrushes too.
No, definitely don't know that one. But there are so many companies that are doing miniatures and busts and shit like that. It's hard to keep track of them all. All right. Okay.
Let's see here.
Sorry, guys. I do have to end the stream there. Oh, okay. My mic volume. Okay. Right. Mic volume.
Whoops.
Mic volume. Is that better? Oh, well, I'm gonna have to test it out the next stream because at the moment I am gonna have to end the stream, and I will bid you all good night.